Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 9 Frames Podcast. This is episode 54, and I am Bill Whalen.
And I'm Mike Whalen.
Be sure to catch us, as always, on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. Our Spotify is 9 Frames, and our X is at 9 Frames Pod. It is also Monday, November 27th, 2023.
The start of a new week, and December will be upon us this week.
Yeah, we took
Pretty
Friday
crazy.
off. We hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. It was a bit of a slow weekend for baseball. Obviously, everybody's enjoying the holiday. But now it's getting hot, folks.
Yeah, we got some decent-sized free agents. One in particular off the board.
Yeah, we keep bringing up the robust pitching market that exists this year, and guys are flying off the market now. Let's get into it. And our first big piece of news, we're not going chronologically here because I think this one is big. It has just happened in the last hour. Sonny Gray officially inks a deal with the Cardinals. 3 years, $75 million. That rotation is now Sonny Gray, Miles Michaelis, Lance Lynn, Steven Matz, and Kyle Gibson. 3 new names in Cardinals threads.
Yeah, we were wondering what the Cardinals were really doing with the Lynn and Gibson signings, but I guess it makes a little bit more sense now as they spend, $25 million a year for the runner-up for the American League Cy Young.
Handily finished second place, too. Got 20 second-place votes. So,
yeah.
I mean, this is a phenomenal guy. Had a 2.79 this year. You can't go wrong.
I got to say, coming off of the year that he had, I'm surprised he didn't get more than $25 million. It might have something to do with the fact that he had a qualifying offer attached to him, so the Cardinals are going to lose draft picks for him. But they think it's worth it for 3 years of Sonny Gray coming off of arguably the best season of his career.
Yeah, Cardinals seem to be going the short window way because it's worth noting, man, this starting rotation has an average age of 35 years old.
Yeah, I mean, he's not young either, though. He's 34, so this is going to take him through his age 37 season, so it's not like they got any younger, but they did add a very good pitcher at the top end of their rotation, which is what they desperately needed.
Yeah, it's been extremely interesting to see with so much talent in the pitching market this year that the veterans are the first ones going off the board.
Yeah, and we knew the Cardinals were going to be a little bit aggressive. They were one of those teams like the Giants. We said
Cardinals also a team that just doesn't accept mediocrity, and that's what they were this year.
They were worse than mediocre. They were bad this year. It was really weird to see.
Trying to bounce back in a big way next year, and their rotation is pretty much set in stone, I would say, there with those 5 guys we said.
Yeah, and I mean, Lynn could have a bounce back year. Matz is Matz. I mean, he could give you good games, or he could. And like I said about Matz, they could always trade him and try to, because maybe they're not done. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, it makes sense that they would be done with pitching in my mind, because, or at least with starting pitching, because now they can focus their assets elsewhere.
Yeah. It's interesting to see that they were the first aggressive team. The Braves were another team that were in on Sonny Gray. So the Braves are 0 for 2, man. They've missed on Nola and Sonny Gray so far.
Yeah, definitely notable to say.
Very weird.
They are still in the mix for quite a few other people. We'll talk a bit about them more later.
Yeah, good for Sonny Gray.
And just before Sonny Gray signed, the day before, I believe, right-hander Kenta Maeda and the Detroit Tigers are in agreement on a 2-year, $24 million contract. Detroit's been all over the veteran, almost, I don't want to say mid-tier, but I guess like not the top-tier big money market guys, but I really think it's smart because I've heard the Detroit GM talk about this. They finished in second place. A lot of people don't give them credit for that.
Yes, they did.
They're a team on the come-up. They have a lot of pitching prospects. So the GM has clearly said that his plan is to give them veteran leadership and really set them up for the future.
I think that the Tigers are starting to turn the corner a little bit. I know that Maeda is 35 years old, but it's always good to have some kind of free agent attraction. Like, you can bring guys in. $12 million a year for Maeda is not bad as long as he can stay healthy. I mean, he's shown that he could be really, really good.
Yeah, Detroit is a nice place to pitch. Also,
Big Park
has made guys look very good in recent years. Eduardo Rodriguez and Michael Lorenzen, to name a few. And let's see if it could do that for Kenta Maeda as well. He was helpful for the Twins this year, coming off of Tommy John surgery, which had him miss 2022.
Stays in the Central as well, just going to a division rival, which is also pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see him step into that leadership role for the Detroit Tigers and see how they keep progressing.
I wonder where they slot him into that rotation now that Erod's gone. Is this the ace?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you got to think Erod is gone. He's not coming back.
No,
probably.
I mean, yeah, no, he probably. I would assume he's gone after opting out, unless they give him a lot of money. But I think he wants to go back east. I completely forgot about Tarek Skubal. He is going to be their ace.
Very true. Yeah,
and then
there is some talent on.
They
that
got Spencer
team,
Turnbull. Yeah, they got some arms, man.
They're coming up. We like the Detroit Tigers, and we're going to keep our eyes on them for sure.
Yeah, really impressive for them to pull ahead of the Guardians and finish in second place to end this year. And a lot of people, like you said, really don't recognize it, but because they've just been in the basement for so long. I mean,
not the basement anymore, man.
Yeah.
Second place.
Second place, that's a large jump.
Yeah, we'll see what they could do next year because that Central is always up for grabs. Moving it on over to free agents now. The Yokohama Bay Stars have posted their star left-handed pitcher, Shota Imanga.
I think this guy is going to be another really good Japanese arm in the big leagues. I don't really know what his market's like. I don't know how his contract's going to shake out. I don't know if he has any preferences. I mean, he just got posted today.
Yeah, so really not a lot. That's what I was actually going to say. He's flying under the radar a lot because of two other really high-class Japanese free agents right now in Shohei Ohtani and Yamamoto. So, I mean, you don't think about this guy as much, and he hasn't been talked about as much, but he started and won the final of the World Baseball Classic for Japan this year. Posted a 2.77 ERA in 24 games, had 159 innings and 188 strikeouts, a great rate. Struck out 29.5% of the batters he faced, almost 30%.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to translate it over into the big leagues. It is definitely a harder league, but we saw Kodai Senga come over this year, and he was pretty good. We've seen guys like Darvish and Tanaka in the past, Hiroki Kuroda. I mean, the list could go on. So I don't know why this guy wouldn't be able to succeed here.
I actually think timing-wise, it's perfect for him because after Kodai Senga comes over on that $15 million a year deal, and he strikes out 202 batters and comes in second for Rookie of the Year. I mean, the Japanese market is hot right now.
More teams are definitely going to want to look at him, considering they could be like, oh, we could get another Kodai Senga type pitcher for $15 million.
A left-hand pitcher, which is always valuable, and not to mention, I mean, just phenomenal numbers. Really attractive.
See a lot of Japanese left-handers coming over.
Really attractive numbers for him too. So we'll see as the days go on what teams are in on him.
And what we were just saying before we started recording, Yamamoto said that he wants to play with other Japanese players, and that the Dodgers were saying that they might be in on Ohtani and Yamamoto, which is absurd to think because that's going to be a lot of money to spend on two players when they already have such a high payroll.
Kind of an unfathomable amount of money, yeah.
But maybe the Dodgers could do something like if they really wanted Yamamoto, or a team like the Mets, who already have a Kodai Senga, they could go out and sign Yamamoto and Imanga, and then they have three Japanese guys on the team.
I mean, yeah, if you could pull that out, that would be a phenomenal thing.
That's exactly what he's looking for.
That could be a lot of uncertainty there with those guys never pitching in the big leagues, but if you're willing to roll those dice, and I think maybe the Mets would be the perfect team to roll those dice, not knowing what the future holds for them right now.
The thing about Yamamoto is everybody knows he's going to be good here. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Think so, yeah.
It's like Ohtani. Everybody kind of figured he'd succeed here. Even Ohtani has exceeded those expectations. So maybe Yamamoto will too, but everybody knows he's going to be a star here. Imanga's a little bit lesser known, but like you just said, man, he was really good in the World Baseball Classic, and he had a solid 2023.
Very solid.
As a lefty from Japan, man, people will be interested in him.
And as you just said, Yamamoto wanting to play on an MLB team with other Japanese players, that brought a couple of teams to mind for me off the bat. The New York Mets are the biggest one because he's already been linked to New York. Then the Chicago Cubs with Seiya Suzuki.
And Senga has also said that he wants to be teammates with him. So
very true. And Yu Darvish over in San Diego, but they don't seem to be in on the market right now for top-tier free agents. So that kind of leaves the Mets and the Cubs in my mind, or a team that signs Ohtani or Imanga.
Yeah, but I'm not sure that it's going to be a deciding factor for him is the thing. I think it's coming across that way to a lot of people, but that's not really what's going to happen. I think what's going to end up happening with Yamamoto is whoever gives him the most money, that's where he's going to go.
Yeah, I don't want to think it's a deciding factor either, but I'm saying with the teams that we've seen linked to Yamamoto already, the Mets and the Cubs were already in the discussion. So the fact that they have Seiya Suzuki and Kodai Senga, I mean...
Boston's in there with Yoshida.
Exactly. They're starting to tick the boxes is what I'm saying. These teams that are ticking all the boxes, and I think the Mets are starting to tick all the boxes, and the Cubs are starting to tick all the boxes, because these are guys or teams that are in on pitchers right now.
Yeah, I could see either of those teams, and like I just said with Boston, San Diego's probably going to be a bit of a stretch, considering that they're starting to spend less money, I guess, trying to fix the payroll a little bit. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, the Japanese market is always interesting to see, because how do you really value them over there compared to here? It's such a different part of the world.
And we, like everyone else, will keep our eyes on those Japanese pitchers coming over. Our last point that we are going to make about pitchers, this also just came out within the hour. The Braves and the Dodgers are amongst several teams engaged with the White Sox on Dylan Cease trade talks, per Bob Nightingale.
Yeah, he has a couple of years of control left, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it seems that way.
This year and next year. I think it's gonna take a haul to get Dylan Cease off of the White Sox, though. Like, there's no reason for them to trade him.
He's a guy who has had a couple of really good years. 2021, he had a 3.91 in 32 games started, and 2022 in 32 games started, a 2.20 ERA.
Yeah, everybody thought he was turning the corner last year with the 2.20, and then he had a really just a really bad 2023.
But that being said, we're hearing franchises like the Braves and Dodgers in on him. These are the type of teams that can mold a guy like that who has shown flashes of greatness to be a real stud in this league.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if he went to the Dodgers or the Braves if his numbers vastly improved, because that's just how it goes.
As we know, Getz is willing to hear on all White Sox players, and clearly Dylan Cease is in on that. Should be interesting to see where he goes, because I don't really see him pitching in White Sox threads next year.
No, I don't either. And, I mean, like I said, though, they don't have to trade him because he does have control. It is interesting now because with Sonny Gray being like the first bigger name, I guess Nola was a bigger name too, but he just stayed where he went. The first bigger name to move to a different team, with Sonny Gray going off the market. I mean, I think we're gonna start to see the market move a little bit more, but it's different with Cease because it's a trade.
Yeah, and just to confirm what you're saying here, he will not be a free agent until 2026.
Oh, okay, so he's got 3 years.
So this is a valuable trade chip, and it is worth noting that whoever goes for this, they're going to have to give up a bit of a haul.
And we just saw what the Braves had to give up to get a controllable reliever in Aaron Bummer from the same White Sox team, so, like, good luck getting Cease. I don't know what they're going to have to give up, but it's going to be a lot.
Yeah, White Sox and Braves in increasingly hot talks, and the Dodgers are in there too. A couple more mystery teams in there as well on Dylan Cease. We'll keep our finger on the pulse of all of the pitching market and free agent market beyond. And in more MLB news, we have our New York Mets hiring former Toronto Blue Jays manager John Gibbons as a bench coach now that Carlos Mendoza is in as manager. I personally love this move. John Gibbons managed the Blue Jays in the early 2000s, went on over to the Royals, and then went on over to the Blue Jays again in the 2010s. If you'll remember, he managed Josh Donaldson.
I remember
Josh Donaldson to his MVP season, and he was the manager of those teams that were given fits to the first Houston Astros.
Yeah, those teams were close to going to the World Series. If you remember, at least the 2015 team, they were very close. They were in the ALCS. I mean, I think it's a great move for the Mets, especially having a rookie manager to bring in somebody that has experience like John Gibbons. Especially because if, say, Mendoza gets run out of the game, which is inevitable eventually, this is the guy that's going to take over. And you really should trust him because of his track record. He's shown that he can manage teams to very good records over the course of a season. So
a guy with that much experience stepping in as your backup manager, that is something the Mets have not had in a long time.
Yeah, it'll be very nice to have a little bit of stability on that bench to help out the rookie manager.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth noting the guy who used to step in for us was Pete Alonso's batting practice pitcher. So there are levels to this, and I think John Gibbons is a step above in terms of coaching experience and expertise.
Yeah, I've been a fan of basically everything Stearns has done with the front office / dugout coaching staff so far. I got no complaints. I think it'll be a very different looking staff than what we're used to for the Mets in years past, and it's honestly very exciting to me.
Yeah, I think that's what it was more of a culture shift. Ever since the Wilpons sold this team, the Mets have been trying to find an identity that is completely separate from them, and it's been hard to do that entirely so far.
It takes time.
Yeah, but now all the players are fresh and gone from that administration.
Yeah. Turning that corner.
Everybody's new. The front office is fresh, and we got a new group in town.
Yeah, it's nice to see, and I hope that they could have a better season, obviously, than they did last year. Because they are a very talented group of guys, and I just don't know what was going wrong last year, why they couldn't all click together. Maybe it was the older pitchers. I don't know. I don't want to blame anybody, but it'll be refreshing is the word I'll use.
Most definitely refreshing. Moving it on over across the bridge, the Yankees have been linked to Rockies outfielder Charlie Blackmon. He is due $13 million in 2024, and then he would be a free agent after that.
See, I understand that, but no, I really don't understand. I understand. The only thing that I do understand is that I said that the Yankees should go hard after Bellinger. I think it's a perfect fit. I understand they'd have to give up a pick for him because of the qualifying offer, but I mean, it's just worth it. You can't settle for a guy like Charlie Blackmon. He's an aging veteran.
Yeah.
I mean, he's owed $13 million. How much more are you going to have to pay Bellinger? An extra $10 million? Pay the guy.
Charlie Blackmon almost fits the Bellinger mold, but like you said, is so much older than him and more on in his years. Obviously, less pop in that bat.
Now, if this was like 2015, 2016, Charlie Blackmon on the market, I mean, I'd go grab him. But we're talking about 2023 here, going into 2024. I just don't understand what that's going to do for the Yankees. I don't really know if that's going to help them that
Yankees
much.
outfield has been a bit of a carousel with injuries and such.
Charlie Blackmon is not very durable as much as he used to be anymore.
No.
I mean, he's like I said, he's an older guy, so it's expected.
Yeah, I mean, Yankees fans, if there are any of you listening, definitely let us know what you think, if you would like your team to acquire Charlie Blackmon or not.
I've always been a fan of Chuck Nasty, too. I mean, he used to be really, really good when he was going for batting titles in the early 2010s, man. He was a force with Cargo and Tulo and those teams.
Phenomenal Colorado Rockies. Should be interesting to see if he moves on over to Yankee pinstripes.
And it would just be weird to see him in a different uniform, too.
I think the most interesting thing about this would be Charlie Blackmon having to adhere to the Yankees' hair policy.
That beard is gone.
Cutting the lettuce and the hair, he would be...
You wouldn't recognize him.
No, I mean, he would be simply put naked. He would lose his current identity. He's been rocking with that for a minute now.
Yeah, I mean, if you walked past Charlie Blackmon on the street without a beard and the hair that he's had for the past decade, you wouldn't really recognize him, I don't think.
Craziest part, too, is this is a trade here, so he could get traded and lose all that hair and that beard.
He's got nothing to say about it.
Nah, I don't think he'd mind too much, but I can't speak for him. Maybe he would.
Yeah.
Moving it on over to the trade market as the hot stove continues to heat. Arizona Diamondbacks, your National League champions, acquire third baseman Eugenio Suarez, known for his pop and his production. Seattle Mariners will acquire relievers Carlos Vargas and catcher Sebi Zavala from the D-backs in exchange. What do you think?
Absolutely love the move by the Diamondbacks specifically. I think it's a great move for the Mariners, too. They get an absolute flamethrower reliever and a decent backup catcher. But, I mean, Suarez, if he gets going, man, he can give you 35 and 100 plus. And he plays a decent third base. So I think because there wasn't really stability at third base for the Diamondbacks. We saw veteran Evan Longoria was over there, and then they were playing Emmanuel Rivera a little bit over there. I think they got their guy now. Suarez is going to be there.
Stability, and I think that's a very good point that you make. This is a guy that played 162 games last year for the Seattle Mariners.
That's what he does, man.
He had 22 homers and 96 RBI. He's a producer, simply put. You do get Sebi Zavala on the other side. He's a versatile catcher. He's coming off a rough year where he batted in the 170s, 171.
Yeah, I think he's going to be more of a backup. And also this is kind of
sure.
this is kind of a well, he's not there anymore. He got traded to the Mariners.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, excuse me.
He'll be a backup to Raleigh.
He will be a backup to Raleigh, who, like we said, has the most pop of any catcher in the league right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, I also am not really up to date on Suarez's contract. Is he expiring? Does he have another year? I'm not sure. I just want to know where the Mariners are going with this, though. Because if he has extra years,
He will be a free agent in 2025.
so he does have an extra year.
This is for 2024, right?
Does he play the 24 and 25 season, or is it
I think it's the 2024. I'm not sure.
Regardless, I think it's a really good move for the
It's
Diamondbacks.
either 1 or 2 years of Eugenio Suarez, and I think, like you said, just even if it is one season, a stable 162 would help that team a lot.
Yeah, especially because when you looked at it in the playoffs, if there was one weakness for the Diamondbacks, it might have been how inconsistent Longoria was playing and hitting down at the bottom of the lineup. So now you got a guy that just gave you 22 and 96. So.
And starting pitching depth.
Yeah.
They only had 3 starting pitchers for that whole playoff run, so if they had more, I think they should definitely be adding more starting pitching.
Yeah, I don't think they're done.
No.
I don't think the Diamondbacks are done by any sense of the word.
And the last thing about the D-backs as well, Diamondbacks, all home games are on sale, a ballpark pass, for $299 a person for 2024.
It's absolute robbery. I don't know if somebody messed up.
I don't know if this is giving back or what. This is the greatest deal that any fan base has been offered, and I think a lot of people should take advantage of this while it's offered to them.
Dude, even if I wasn't a Diamondbacks fan and I lived in Arizona, I would spend the $300 just to have the option to go to any home game I want to.
Yeah, me and you have been to Chase Park a couple of times, and it is a beautiful,
Chase Field's awesome.
gorgeous place to
Yeah.
catch a ball coil.
I mean, the pool out in right field, it's nice with the... the Arizona weather can be quite brutal
They
outside.
open it up, though, and then it's got a nice breeze on some days. They close it up, and the air conditioning handles it.
Yeah.
It is a gorgeous place to catch a game. If you're in the area, I recommend you take advantage of it if you can. I see people on Twitter doing that already.
Yeah, $300 for 83 games because they're including 2 exhibition games as well. I mean, dude, that it comes out to like $4 or $5 a ticket for the whole season. It's
an
insane.
absolute dream for guys like us. I would be there as often as my schedule permitted.
Yeah,
That would
that's
be
what
awesome.
I said. I mean, even if you spend the $300 and you go to say 40 of those games, dude, you're feeling like
That's $8 a ticket.
Yeah,
We
I got
did
my
the
bang
math.
for my buck.
Yeah, we did the math. If you go to all games that you are offered, and this is only if you go to 162 of them, or 81 of them instead of 83, it would be $4 a ticket.
Yeah, that's
so,
crazy.
I mean, for seats in the 300s, you cannot go wrong. Respect to the D-backs. The National League champions offering that deal, respect.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely help their attendance numbers for sure. I mean, people would be dumb not to take advantage of that offer.
I agree, and that is your baseball news from the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Thank you to everybody for watching and listening wherever you do. This was episode 54 of the 9 Frames podcast. I have been Bill Whalen.
And I'm Mike Whalen.
Catch us as always on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. Our Spotify is 9 Frames, and our X is 9 Frames Pod. We hope to interact with you guys more as the off-season ticks on.
Yeah, we appreciate it, and honestly, man, it's just starting to get fired up now. Guys are starting to fall off the board. Not even the bigger ones yet. I mean, we're still waiting to see where Ohtani and Yamamoto land.
I almost think that makes it more intriguing for me to see.
It's usually not how it goes.
No, to see more of the middling names go off the board. Now the big dogs got to get paid, and they got to eat, man.
Yeah, the typical trend of the MLB offseason is everyone waits until the big guns fly off the board, and then it starts to flow, but... we saw guys like, again, Sonny Gray and Aaron Nola are both big-name pitchers in their own right, but we're talking about, like, the top 3 guys, like Snell, Ohtani, Yamamoto, Bellinger, like those guys.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a very fun offseason. We hope you guys stick with us through it all. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment below your thoughts on what we talked about, any of it.
Yeah, we appreciate it, and have a great start to your week, everyone.